ರೆಡಿ ಆಯ್ತು
ಆಂಟಿಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಗೆ ಇದಿಲ್ಲ
ಏನು ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ
ನೋಡಿ ಇರೋ ತೆಗ್ದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಾಗ ಒಂದ್ಮೇಲ ನೋಡಿ 7 ನಿಮಿಷ ಇದೆ ಹೌದು ಟೇಬಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಣಿನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ರಾಣಿ
ಆದಷ್ಟು ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್. ರಾಗ ಸರ್ ಇದೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ
ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅದೇ ಹೂವಿನ ಜೊತೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸರ್
ಇವರು ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿದ್ದೇನಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇವ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಲೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವರು ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 2981 ಖಾಲಿ 2191 ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಪೆಲ್ಲ ಫೈಲ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಏನು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ ತೋಡ್ರಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ
ಮಾಡಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಟೀ ಮಾಡಿ
ಅದೊಂದು ತೋರ್ಸಿ
ಒಂದು 5 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್
ಬಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ನೀವು ದೂಸ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಪಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೋಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ತೆಗ್ದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು
ಆಯ್ತು ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡೋಣ
ಅಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ
ನಾಟ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಮೀ
ನಾನು ಬಂದಲ್ಲ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಜಾ ನೋಡಿ
ನಾನು ಅದೇ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಮನೆಗೂ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದೀವಂತೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಟ್ರಿಪ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ
ಚೇತನ್ ಸರ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯಾ ಚೇತನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಾವು दिया मुझे तो तुम सेंड करना ना बुक में देखे वहाँ बुक है देख के सेंड करना वहाँ
ಇದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಡೇಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ
ಒಂದು ಮೇಲ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಡಿಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ ಎರಡು ಸೈನ್
ನಾನು ಕೊಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅದು ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡಿ.
ಐ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇದು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹತ್ರ ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇದು 2:30 ನೀವು ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡಿ. ನಾನು ನಾನು 2:30 ಬೈಕಾ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾಳೆ ಇದೆ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮು. ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ 7 ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ನಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ.
ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್.
ರಾಣಿ ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರಾ?
ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್
ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
ಮೇಡಮ್. ಅದು ಜಿಪಿಆರ್ಎಸ್ ಫಾಲ್ಟ್ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಅದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ನಿಂಗೆ ಶೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬಿಡಿ. 5 ದಿವಸ ರಜಾ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಈಗ ಗೊತ್ತು 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಏನ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ
N21 ಕೆಕೆ
ಇದು ಸಿಸಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋದು ಕೆಳಗಡೆ. ಇದು ಸಿಸಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋದು ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋದು ಈಗಲ್ಲ.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಿಸಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್
ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಏನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಏನ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸಿಸಿ ಬೇಕು
ಮಾರ್ಚ್ 1ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇದಿಲ್ಲ ಸೈನ್ ಇದು ಮಾಲ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಆಯಿಂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಆಂಟಿನಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಯಜಮಾನ್ರ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ತುಂಬ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಸಿಕ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನೀಗ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆಗಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇದೇ ವಿದ್ರಾ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ
ಕಂದಿನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಇವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಆಲ್ಸಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊ ಅಂತೀನಿ. ಆಲ್ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರು ಅವನೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳಲ್ಲ ಅವರು.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಒಂದು ಸೈನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಅದು
ಆಸ್
ಬೇಡ,
ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಹಂಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ 6-12 ಸೈನ್.
ಬರ್ತಾವ
ಒಬ್ಳು 90%, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಳು 80%.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ವಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ತೆಗೆದು ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ 998% ತೆಗೆದು ಸಾಕು. ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಮಾರ್ಗವ್ವ ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ದಣ್ಣನ ಮಗ ಈ ಸತಿ ಹೋದ ಸತಿ ನೋಡಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಈ ಸತಿ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಬಂದ.
ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು ಫೋರ್ತ್.
ಇಂಥ ದಣ್ಣನ ಮಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದಡ್ಡ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ.
ಇನ್ನೇನು ಮಗಳಿದ್ರಿಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಳ್ಸೋದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಓದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ.
ನನಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಏನ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀರ್ರಿ ರಾಣಿ ಅವ್ರ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಯಜಮಾನ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಸೀಸನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 5 ಒಂದು ಡೀಲಿಂಗ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಿದೆ, ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿದೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಹಿಂದೆ ನಮ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಿಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 5.1 ಡೀಲಿಂಗ್ ತಗಬೇಕು. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ನಾನು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬನ್ನಿ ಬೇಡ. ಇದು ಓಪನ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗೋದಾ? ಡೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ರೀ, ಓಕೆ ಇದ್ರು ಅವ್ರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ
ಬರೆಯೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಯಾ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಶೀಟ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಅದೊಂದು 2 ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ನನ್ನ other bench
Not before we not have bench, before other bench. So before there is not in the
ಹೇಳಿ.
Number 1 for further hearing Ajay J Nandalike.
Is before your lordship, sir. Commissioner's report is before your lordship. Give the possession of the property to the prospective purchasers. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು affidavit ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ. We are not opposing the commissioner's report.
Okay. Okay. What do you say? Where that?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಎರಡೇ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆದ್ರೆ we will require your lordship's directions under article 142.
142.
ಹೌದು. Because 227 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಈಗ the law is well settled now, my lord. That even though 142 applies only to Supreme Court, 227 ಅಲ್ಲಿ High Court ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ High Court Supreme Court judgment ಇದೆ. And last time I mentioned to your lordships, my lord, Chaturvedi's case. My lord, if your lordship will kindly see para 23, my lord. This is a view of his lordship. My lord, this is the view of his lordship Justice Hansaria, who was on the bench, concurring with the majority view. Therefore, it will become law for the purpose of Article 141. May I read it, my lord? He pointed out the mere fact that there is no provision parallel to Article 142 relating to the High Courts can be no ground to think that they not to do complete justice. And if molding of relief would do complete justice between the parties, the same cannot be ordered. Absence of provision like 142 is not material according to me. This may be illustrated by pointing out that despite there being no provision in the Constitution parallel to Article 137 conferring power of review on the High Court, this court held as early as 1961 in Shivdev Singh's that the High Court too can exercise power of review, which inheres in every court of plenary jurisdiction. I would say that the power to do complete justice also inheres in every court, not to speak of a court of plenary jurisdiction, the High Court. Of course, this power is not as wide as much this court has. That's attracted in the case of disproportionate.
Why is this proposition now?
This proposition is only for this limited purpose, my lord. This writ petition,
Yes.
seeks to challenge certain orders that have been passed by the Consumer Commission. Now, my lord, the apartment owners had approached the Consumer Commission, but execution was laid against the present petitioner on the ground that the present petitioner was a partner of the partnership firm. It is primarily questioning that order. We are before your lordships. When the matter came up before your lordships, my lord, your lordships were of the view that independent of your dispute between partners, which you can sort out wherever.
Consumers should not suffer.
People. Yes, that's. Now, in that context, my lord, what was told to your lordships, and we, my lord, said, even though we are not parties to the original complaint, we are willing to do everything in order to ensure that the apartment purchasers get the property. In respect of it, they have paid the consideration. Now, my lord, one grievance that was made before your lordship, the apartment agreement holders were that the building is not complete, building sariyagilla, idu sariyagilla, ad sariyagilla. In that context, my lord, your lordships appointed a commissioner to go and visit. And one of the matters, my lord, in respect of it, the commissioner had to report to your lordship was, what is the condition of the building? How is it? Is it been constructed properly?
So they have come out with a
Now,
report.
my lord, your lordships also directed the BBMP to be implemented, so that BBMP tomorrow should not, because BBMP has to give the occupation certificate. So therefore, your lordship said, I will implement them here, and I will exercise, I have them here, and I will exercise, I have power under, even though 142 may not explicitly state High Court, I have the power to exercise, to pass such orders as are required in order to do complete justice between the parties. Therefore, your lordship directed BBMP to be a party here also. So that is the context, my lord, in which this is placed for your lordship's consideration. That is the context. Now, my lord, the commissioner's report, apart from saying, my lord, there are some problems here, there, the building somewhere is leaking, somewhere it is not maintained properly, the bathrooms are not, the fittings are not that way because it has been in disuse without any maintenance for so many years now. My lord, we have now filed an affidavit saying we will take care of all that. We will do everything properly and give it to them. In addition to it, my lord, the commissioner has raised the following issues. One, my lord, the commissioner says that setback sariyagilla anta. Now, my lord, we have an answer for that. When the plan was sanctioned, setback was fine. Thereafter, some portion of the correct. But learned commissioner is right, my lord. There's no difficulty. Now, our answer to that in the affidavit that we are filing is that there was an appropriate setback. Now, because the portion of the property was taken away for a road, next setback ittu.
So
That's the difficulty, my lord, that we are having. So we are in your lordship's hands. May I suggest this, my lord, as a course of action? Your lordships may not take my word on that, because after all, my lord, what we say may be colored, may not be colored, I don't know. Corporation may be right, corporation may be wrong. So may I suggest respectfully this,
that acquisition took place after the construction
yes, my lord, I
began,
am given to understand after construction.
after construction.
Yes. 2016 enlightened, 2016, 17 enlightened. So may I suggest this, my lord, that both the corporation and ourselves, our engineers can go and then make a complete measurement. Obviously, my lord, the commissioner has not done it. We understand that, my lord. Let it be done in that manner with reference to the sanction plan, with reference to how the road today exists, what was the setback between the building and the road at the time when
All that may not be. If road was not formed, whether setback violation question would arise.
that is point, my lord, that has been done. The second, my lord, is a problem relating to the height of the building. Now, my lord, according to the corporation, the height of the building is,
It exceeds the prescribed limit.
17 meters.
my lord, according to the corporation, the height of the building is page.
Last page.
Page number ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ನನಗೆ. Give me the page number. ಯಾವ ಪೇಜ್ ಇದು?
ಆಯ್ತು ಕಾರ್ತಿಕೇಯನ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೈಟ್ ವೈಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಏನೋ?
ಏನಪ್ಪ ನೀವು ಕೊಡೋದು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡಿ. My lord, as part of the commissioner's report, there is a height, my lord, that is setback and height ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ?
Height is yours.
My lord, according to, my lord, now the property is 17.40 meters ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
17.40
meters ಅಂತಾರೆ.
ಹಾ.
ಇದು whose?
ಆ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಗೆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರಬೇಕು?
My lord, according to them, it should be 15. According to us, it is 15.75. That is what we have said. So there is,
According to you, it is in excess.
yes, but then it is within the permissible deviation.
Condonable limit.
Yes, that is what we are saying. So therefore, my lord, it requires to be
Condonable
signed.
limit ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ?
Num the 15.75.
No, that's not.
15.
Condonable limit.
15.
ಯಾವ rule?
15 to 20%.
5%.
5%. So we are within. So
Building.
Height of the building ಗೆ
17.4 meters, my lords, which is 16% deviation.
16% deviation ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So ಅವ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಹೋದ್ರೆ 5%.
ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ,
ಪ್ರಕಾರ 5% ಅಂದಿದೆ.
if your lordship will kindly see.
Verified.
Page 36 of the report. Report ಕೊಡಿ.
The last page, my lords.
ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೈಟ್ ವೈಲೇಟ್ ಆದಾಗ
Yes, my lords.
ಅಪೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತದ ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದ್ರು ವಯ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಹುಡುಕಿದೆಯಾ?
Only the last floor will have to be
Pull it down.
pulled out.
But
Or my lords, if they are able to load the TDR, my lords,
ಹಾ.
which
ಅದು ನಾವು ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. In
TDR
fact, in our
ready ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
affidavit, we have said TDR ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರು acquisition ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದನ್ನ we will load it into this property so that
ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ. ಈಗ ಎಕ್ವಾಯ್ ಇದು the height is decided depending upon the breadth of the site.
yes,
Correct?
yes.
Suppose if the road portion is
So my lord, the remedy, because I'm trying to find a remedy, my lord, now what has happened, my lord. Now we have to find a remedy, as your lordships have always been guiding us. Keep the interest of the agreement holders as a paramount consideration. So now I was thinking, my lord, as to how to, so if the two
TDR provide ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಇದು ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇದೆ, road
And ಇದೆಯಾ?
acquisition road acquisition ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದು TDR ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅದನ್ನ we will load it onto this property.
ಅವಾಗ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡತ್ತಾ?
ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. That probably
So,
the
calculation
numbers will have.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
to match.
ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು
But
ಇದನ್ನ
it's
ವರ್ಕೌಟ್
not-
ತಾವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ all this can be worked out and we will sort it out and execute a sale deed in favor of the apartment owners. We'll clean up the property, give us how much, 2 months time? 2 months time, we'll bring the property into a habitable condition, no difficulty. Let the learned commissioner, my lord, make his time available to us for some more, for a few more months. So after this is done, we can request him to visit and then place a final report before your lordships.
ಎಸ್ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕೇಯನ್ ಏನು ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತನಾ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. What commissioners are saying about the position? It's a panel na? Unanimous. ಏನು ನೀವು ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಹುಡುಕಿದ್ದೇನೇನು? Mr. Raghavan, kindly be seated. ಈ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಗೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು?
ಇಲ್ಲ, they are ready.
They are ready.
It is by consent the commissioner was appointed. We do not have any objections to the commissioner's report.
Commissioners report ಅಲ್ಲ,
Yes.
ಈಗಿನ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. We want completed project. That is exactly why we are before the.
ಈಗ 2 ತಿಂಗಳು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅವರು.
ಆಗ್ಬೋದು.
ಅವಾಗ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಆನ್ಸೆಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ.
But June ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ of course I understand, my lord, rain season will start, but we will do our best, my lord, because we have to do it. 2 months, no? 2 months. 2 months ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಆಗ್ತದಾ?
ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹಾಕಿ
ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಈಗ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಉದ್ದೇಶ. ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ
ನಾವು ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ us we will, as partners we will fight, my lord. We will fight.
ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿ, ಬಟ್ ಅವರನ್ನ
ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿ.
fighting ring ದಾಗ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
I agree.
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪಾಪ
No,
ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಫೈಟ್
No, my lord, no, my lord. Last time your lordship said that, my lord, ಅವ್ರ ಶಾಪ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ.
ಹೌದು.
Your lordships, my lord, I go down to what your lordship is saying.
Yes, Mr. Commissioner.
My lords. My lords, two parts to the report. On comparison of the status of the apartments and the specification sheet that was provided, the apartment appears to be constructed in accordance with the specification sheet. So in that sense, the construction is complete and is ready for handover is the commission submission. However, your lordships had also in court directed us to comment on the habitability of the building.
Correct.
Now, so far as habitability is concerned, we had some observations or some concerns. For example, when we went to the basement, there was evidence of at least about 18 inches of water stagnation, perhaps in the last monsoon. The reason is that there is both a stormwater drain as well as a lake in the immediate vicinity. So the water has come in, there was a clear mark on the wall, and that has led to sedimentation, and then disease, etc. is possible. So that will affect habitation. The next is, as we were entering the building from one of the gates, a portion of the wall is demolished and the debris is lying within the site. That wall abuts a stormwater drain. So if somebody is not careful, that stormwater drain is open, somebody may fall. The debris of the wall is in the path. That also creates a hazard. Then thereafter, there are some other observations as to maintenance. The place is overrun with weeds. There may be pests, there may be snakes. So all this has been compiled. In some of the apartments, some fixtures and fittings were stolen. That was another observation. There were some external wires dangling, etc., etc. In the basement, we notified the commission on the same day. So that is one aspect that is left open for a competent for an engineer to comment. The next aspect is seepage. Because of the flooding, there was a lot evidence of seepage on the that ivat matra the motor kettogide. Some people say connection illa, that physically
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಜನ nobody is residing.
nobody is residing. Other than the security, nobody is residing. Nobody is residing. And so that, my lords, were, if I were to look only at the specification sheet, I have to say that the apartment is complete as per specification sheet. If I have to comment on habitability, there are a number of things that have to be carried out before it is fit for safe human occupation. That is the one last point, my lords. Some of the purchasers, they guided us to the petitioner's apartments, and they said that nodi idu complete agilla, there is still construction work going on, it will affect our peace of mind. According to me, that happens in every building. That is not that can be resolved by putting some time limit from 10 to 6 ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ರಾತ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, etc. Then they said, because they are laying their flooring or plastering their walls, it may compromise the structural integrity. How ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ they were not able to elaborate that. In the limited knowledge of the petitioner, ಅದು ಬರಲ್ಲ.
ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ತೊಳಿ.
Your lordship's orders permits it. On the next visit, I will do that.
ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಸವಿತ್ರಮ್ಮ, ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಸ್ ನ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ತಗೊಂಡು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಂತರ ಇದನ್ನ ಮೀನ್ ವೈಲ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ರಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಒಂದ್ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ಇಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಇಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಡ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಂದು ಓಟ್ ತುಂಬ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅದ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಪಾಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನೇನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆ ಏನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ they participated in the commission.
ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರಾ?
Yes, yes.
Their presence is recorded, lords. The attendance sheet is annexed.
Okay.
ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು.
ಈಗ ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ BBMP ಇಂದನೂ ಕೋಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಈ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೈಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುವಂತವು, ಈಗ 5% ಕಂಡೋನೇಬಲ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ 15% ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಏನಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನಿಂದ ಒಂದು ರಿಲೀಫ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆಯ್ತು. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತವ್ರು ಯಾರು? ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ. You are also agreeable with this proposal. That's a good thing. Okay. What your clients say, then
hard instruction, there is no objection to the commissioner report. And on this proposal also,
except what Mr. Raghavan said, superadded certain conditions, those things.
On the matter, my lord, we are now filing an affidavit. Whatever I told you, your lordships, my lord, we have put it on affidavit. So just, can I, if your lordship give me 5 minutes, can I just take your lordship?
Right.
If I may trouble your lordship to kindly see, my lord, paragraph number 11 onwards at page 6.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಡಿಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಕೋತೀನಿ, ನಂತರ ನಿಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿ.
I'm sorry.
We'll give short dictation, short note ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ this court, wide order dated so and so, made consensually, had constituted a commission dated so and so, commission comprising of 3 prominent members of the bar, one of them being additional government advocates, 2 of them being additional government advocates. Full stop. The commission, having undertaken spot visit and examination of the structure within its limitation, has come out with a unanimous report dated
4-3 minutes.
4/3 4/3/2025. Conclusion party the other.
I've said that unequivocally,
That's
27.
Subject to observations contained in the report, of course, Manoj.
Full stop. ಏನ್ ಬರ್ದಮ್ಮ?
Currently, the report is self-contained and
Self-contained, and the same is reproduced. In the pen drive and reproduced below. First stop. Next paragraph. Mr. Aditya, the presiding Aditya Vikrama Bhatt, the presiding member of the commission, adds that they had not employed any structural engineer or an engineering expert to say about the structural quality of the building in question. First of all, since the intent of all this has to be done in a by time bound manner, hardly needs to be told. First of all, this apart, the deficiencies or the objections pointed out by the commission in its subject report have also to be addressed by the petitioner. Again, within a time petitioner. All this should be done within the time bound manner. A sentence. First, it is a happy thing to note that all the parties to this proceeding have signified their consent to the proposals of the commission report. First, next paragraph. Learned senior advocate Mr. K.G. Raghavan submits that there are two more issues. Is there one? The height of the building arguably exceeding the permissible limit. All stakeholders ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ notice ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅದು. With the participation of the petitioner and Prabhu brothers, they also be notified. Yes, brothers. First, we are hopeful that some practical solution shall be suggested by all the concerned, and on the next date of hearing, the same shall be placed on record. First, well, yes, you wanted to say something.
Right, just
Well, Mr.
now-
Raghavan submits that for accomplishing all these tasks, a period of 2 months be granted to his client, since others also have agreed to this proposal.
we have now filed an affidavit, my lord,
You know,
for your lordships. May I just quickly take your lordships to the affidavit,
Yes,
not more
yes.
than 5 minutes of your lordship's
yes,
time.
yes.
Lord, please see para 12, my lord. The petitioners, page 6, my lord,
As a response to the commission's report. First, the gist of response is found at para 12. Response is found at para 12. The said affidavit, which reads as under. Setback to height of the building ಆಯ್ತು, F and G.
My lord, setback of the building, height of the
A.
building, habitability of the building. Habitability, my lord, is addressed in 12A. And boundary wall 12B,
ನೋಡಮ್ಮ,
water
12,
supply 12C.
11, 12 and 13 reproduce ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು.
Yes.
All right, ನೋಡಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes, yes, my lord. My lord, now with respect to the work, my lord, no doubt we will do it, my lord. But the cost has to be paid 50-50 by them also. Prabhu brothers have to pay. They can't just, they are the ones who did this mess and have gone away. I am willing to tend this baby, a sick baby now. I will take care. I owe a moral duty, my lord, to do it, though I don't have legal duty according to me. Leave that thing aside, my lord. Prabhu brothers have to pay 50%. They can't keep quiet about it.
My lord, that may not be correct.
ಮೈಕಿ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮೈಕನ್ನು ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ.
My lord, that submission may not be entirely correct. One, first of all, we have, this is against me. If it is permissible in law, I will fight. That's not a problem, my lord. All I am saying is, this has to be from the assets of the firm. In case I am liable or I am not, they are liable, who have to bear the expenses, that will have to decide in another set of proceedings.
In this not necessary ಅಂತ.
ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ.
ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಫರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕಾಂಡಕ್ಟ್ 2014 ಅಲ್ಲಿ I'll point out, my lord, for example.
ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಿಮಗೆ.
ಅದು ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅದಾಗ್ಬೋದು,
ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ.
ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್.
ಎಂತ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್?
ನನಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ.
We can call for, we can hold the trial, we will ask some commission to hold the proceeding and
ಆಗ್ಬೋದು,
submit the report.
ಆಗ್ಬೋದು,
That's what.
ಆಗ್ಬೋದು,
ಇದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ 10 ವರ್ಷ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ
ಆಗ್ಬೋದು,
ನಡೆಸಿ
ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ತೊಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಮಾಡಿದ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅದು. ನಾನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆಲ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇದ್ದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನಂತೀರಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್?
My lord, I have a complete answer to what my lord is finishing. My lord, in so far as what has happened till now, my lord, we will sort it out, my lord. We'll fight it out. Sort it out. We'll fight it out. Because I don't think it can be sorted out.
Okay.
We will fight it out. Because I don't think it can be sorted out.
Okay.
We will fight it out. In so far as doing things in compliance with your lordship's directions are concerned, both must equally be responsible to this honorable court. Not to me, not to him. We are responsible to this court. Therefore, my lord, since they were the developers, 50-50 was the agreed ratio. Let them pay 50% of expenses. I will pay 50% of expenses.
When he says, in the context of the revolution, he says the first thing we do after we take power is kill all the lawyers. Because lawyers are guardians of right.
So it was
Right, my
in
lord.
praise of institution of lawyers actually. Yes. ಹಾ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತೀರಿ? ಅವ್ರಂತಾರೆ ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ 50% ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, 50% ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ, ಮುಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರ ಅವ್ರು.
So first of all, our right is only 26% in the firm, sir, not even 50%. That's one issue. And the firm has sufficient assets to pay all the expenses. So we can be allowed to sell the flats and we'll leave the rest.
ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ?
50%. There's an,
ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ?
this is an agreement. My lord, kindly see the agreement at page 113. It says so, my lord.
113.
I'll read that, my lord.
ಇದು ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಬ್ಬರ ನಡುವಿನ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್.
ಹೌದು.
ನಮ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೇಸ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೇಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ,
has to give me 39.47%, he has to give me, rest is his.
My lord, kindly see, my lord, what it says is, there is an agreement between us. It says the second party shall Avinash Prabhu.
but in that your client is also one of the
Yes,
partners.
yes. That is why, my lord, I am doing it. I will also contribute, my lord. I am not running away.
My case is that they are responsible for delay because, my lord, even
ಅಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿ, ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮಿಬ್ಬರ ನಡುವಿನ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
Going forward,
ಅವರು
in
ಇವರು ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸಫರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು.
I am saying, let the assets of the firm which are not regarding which agreement has not been entered into with third parties, let the assets of
ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫರ್ಮ್?
What I suggest, my lord, is this. In fact, I am making a clear division, my lord, between what has happened prior to your lordship's intervention and what is going to happen post. Now, my lord, what has happened prior, whatever is the agreement, whatever is the dispute, we will, my lord,
Work out elsewhere.
We will work out our right. In so far as complying with your lordship's direction, my lord, it is a moral responsibility. We are bound to do it. To the buyers, in fact, your lordships have said not only to those 26 people.
Others also.
Others
50,
also.
53
my
na
lord,
ಏನೋ
yes,
ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ
my lord,
ನಾವು.
yes, my lord. Therefore, it is a moral responsibility. We will do it. There is no difficulty. But equally, therefore, going forward, subject to whatever accounting we may do, we will pay we will pay 40%, let them pay 60% because that is the ratio in which the property is to be divided ultimately. So let us do it that way, my lord.
60%. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ 40, 60?
59 point.
49
point.
40, 60 ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ proposal? ನಿಮ್ಮ 27% ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ proposal?
123.
Yes, my lord.
Stipulation.
Partnership deed.
Page 120.
Yeah,
Partnership deed.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ page number?
7 point.
my lord, if your lordship will kindly see page 123, my lord. That is the agreement, my lord, which I am referring to, begins at page 100.
ಕೊಡಿ.
2021.
ಇದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ರಾಗಿಲ್ಲನು 9984 ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲನು?
That was only challenging 1 lakh.
117 in WP number 17397.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಅವರ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ 50-50 ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪಿಟಿಷನ್. ಈ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದಷ್ಟೇ ವಿಲಪನ ಪೂರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅವರು, ನಾವು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಡಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ದುಡ್ಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಈಗ ಈಗೇನ್ 50 ಇದು ಎಂಟೈರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ವಾಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಟೇಕನ್ ಬೈ ಪ್ರಭು ಬ್ರದರ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಯಾಡಲ್ಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್. It is your responsibility only.
It was a joint responsibility. They were also parties. Partnership deed, they are also partners. They are partnership firm. We are only saying there are other 44 apartments of the firm which are neither subject matter of any of the agreement nor encumbered. Those have been attached by the commission. Let the assets of the firm be used for, my lord. Practically, I don't have money, my lord. Otherwise, I will not get into all these things. Your lordship is right. If they had money, they could have paid and they could have continued with whatever litigation they have.
Ask them whether they are income tax assessees. They are. Just give copy of your assets and liability statement in a sealed cover, and your bank statement as on this day. What is the amount in banks now?
Nothing. We have no business at all. We have only one employee. Other than us, there's only one employee.
Ali, other
But
40.
that's no answer, my lord. That's no answer.
1 crore 25 lakhs.
44 who ಇದಾವಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್,
ಹೌದು.
even they have been attached.
ನಮ್ದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದು. Because of all these execution orders that have been passed by the learned commission. Thing is done properly today. That's why, my lord, we filed this affidavit also.
Correct.
We will do everything and take care of the interest of the apartment buyers. No difficulty.
Okay.
Now, my lord, question of how much money is to be paid. Who is going to bear the expenses? Now, my lord, to that, I am now saying, my lord, whatever is the problem that we had between us prior to now, we will sort it out separately. Insofar as compliance with the court order is concerned, admittedly, all of us were partners. And I ask myself, why should I alone be mulcted with all the costs? They should also come up with that. I don't have money is no answer. I also can say I don't have money. But that's not the answer. They have to find money. It is not as if, my lord, they're all in penury. No, we are not dealing with ordinary people. We are dealing with property developers.
Then
No, my lord, it's hard to believe that. It's hard to believe that.
ಬೇರೆ assets and liabilities ಇದೆಯಾ?
1 crore 25 lakhs is lying with them of my money.
That is a different matter. That's a fight.
1 crore 25 lakhs.
That
is
we have a
lying with them.
dispute.
They can
That we
use
have a
that for
dispute.
the
We will sort it
construction.
out separately. My lord, if
No,
that,
we are asking.
25 lakhs
that
is
we have a
lying with them.
dispute.
They can
That we
use
have a
that for the
dispute. We will sort it out separately. My lord, if
No,
that,
we are asking you.
Yes,
One,
my lord.
1 crore so and
No,
so ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ?
no, my lord, that's a matter of accounting. We have spent it in the construction. We will show all that. My lord, that's a matter of accounting. We also have put in money. They also have put in money. My lord, these become such contested issues between us. That is why, my lord, I was putting a Chinese wall between.
No, you are just thinking that way. If you do it all because you have undertaken right from the first day,
Yes, my lord.
which you have recorded.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. I'm
So
not running
you
away.
do it, invest entire money because you have undertaken to do that.
Yes,
Then we will permit you to proceed against them for work recovery.
my lord.
That is your
Kindly
stand.
see, my lord. That is one. That
Stand
is
itself is-
my lord, that is one approach. My lord. That's one approach. The other approach is, especially, my lord, where it is a question of complying with the court's direction. Just because I undertook the responsibility, it doesn't mean that the cost must be put on me alone. My lord, I ask myself,
That you
were
have
they
to-
not partners? You recover all this money I do
No,
without
that's your
any-
case. You said, we will do everything.
We will do it.
Permit us to proceed against them is your first submission.
That is insofar as previous dues are concerned, no difficulty. I have lot of claims against them. Go ahead. My lord, pursuant to your lordship directions, if I have to be done. Now look at the situation.
ಆರ್ಡರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ
ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. I am not for a moment reneging from anything that I've told this honorable court. I will do it, my lord, there's no difficulty. I am only saying, my lord, kindly see, my lord, there are 4 apartments that have fallen to his share in this building.
Unsold.
Which are unsold. Please permit us to sell that and use that money for the purpose of this. My lord, he should disclose that to your lordships in fairness.
Attached another, 4.
Let him,
Out of
You
4.
said all property is attached. You said
Yes.
all properties of the firm are attached now.
No, sir. 36 flats.
My lord, one submission. I
Attached.
have got it.
36 out of 44 are.
There are 44 unsold units, out of which 40 are attached, 4 are not attached.
4 are not attached.
Not attached.
You sell those.
ನಾವೇ sell ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. We will sell it.
Out of 4.
2 are sold. Your-
2 are sold out now.
Yes.
When
Two
were
are
sold?
sold.
My lord, I think-
He has not
Actually,
given us any such agreement.
their person, they had booked in another project of ours,
When?
in 2005.
He's given.
And they have, because there was some legal dispute, they have taken these 2 flats as alternative.
Many.
Yes, sir.
But you said that we have
Who are-
many.
Yes, sir.
But you said that we have.
2 are, 2 have been given to a client who has booked another flat, 2 are available for
My lord,
sale.
that is an internal adjustment, something they have done.
We have no objection to sell 2.
For 2. What is
No,
the?
my lord, let the.
Why 4? Suppose if only 1 will suffice the expenditure. Why are you insisting 4?
15 crores extra. Sir.
No, that's it. For the purpose of expenditure, my lord, today, all right, my lord, I will go
That's
down
what.
to what, please permit me to sell his remaining 2 flats. And I will recover the money, I will use that money for the purpose of doing all the work that I have undertaken to do, plus put my own money, do everything, and then, my lord, we will work out our rights.
What do you say? Yes, sir?
Okay,
You are agreeable to that?
yes.
It
Lord,
can't
that's
be
what
that I
I've been
don't have
saying.
any
He's
money.
agreeable,
Yes,
sir.
yes, I find.
You can't complain at all
I'm
because
agreed,
he says, yes, do it.
All this was
Because
required.
Mine is 4 apartments attached. And we are not talking
Anyway, your
about
client is
individual
now
property,
saying,
my lord.
your client himself in all fairness
I
says,
agree.
sell these 2
Two,
apartments.
we agree. In so far as-
All this 10 or 15 minutes of discussion of your lordships, very valuable judicial time was required because the man said, I don't have anything. I
Now
am
these
penury. I don't have any money. I
not-
don't have
not-
any assets.
Not that way. This is a partnership asset ಇದೆ. ಆ asset is attached ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು stand it. Now they are saying,
ಅವ್ರ್ದೇ
out of the 4, 2 they are saying you sell.
Very good.
Ah.
Well, I will.
That is
your
also the
lordships
partnership
may-
only.
Your lordships may. No.
Okay.
Yes.
ಅದನ್ನ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡಿ.
ಹೇಳಿ.
Our year
Them not play trick also. Anybody, nobody should play trick with the court. Court is so fair to all of you. You should appreciate that. Suppose ನಾವೇನೋ ಒಂದು whimsically ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ತೊಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
No.
Ah,
My lord, in fact, this is not only a legal proceeding, my lord, this is a holy proceeding that's going on in this court.
ಪಾಪ otherwise
ಅದೇ ಪಾಪ,
ತಗೊಂಡವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ
And
ಜಗಳದಲ್ಲಿ
24 ಜನ ಬಂದು 56 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ help ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ನಿಮ್ಮ
ಯಾಕೆ?
ಜಗಳದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ why the buyers of the flats, why they should suffer? All these years they have suffered. They will curse all of us.
Para 9 ಓದ್ಬಿಡ್ಲ, if your
ಓದಿ.
lordships permit. Additionally, petitioners pray that B, permit the petitioner to sell the remaining unsold 4 flats falling to the share of respondent number 2, namely A104, B401, B403 and C304 to recover additional cost of construction. ಈ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಇದು ಅವರೇ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದ? ಇದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾರ್ದು?
ನಮ್ಮ ಅಫಿಡವಿಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ. ಇದರ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
ಕೇಳಿ ಏನಂತ ನಿಮ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್?
Sharing agreement which we have entered in that agreement. As per the sharing.
That's okay. I understand. ಈಗ ಸಾಕು.
And of course, my lord, how much they spend also, they will have to reveal to this honorable
ನಾ
court.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ನೀವು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಮೊದ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಶೇರ್
ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು
ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Of course.
ಅದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ share ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Of course.
ಹೌದು, ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರ
Yes,
ಜೊತೆ. ನೀವೇನೇನ್ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ?
Yes.
ಇವರ ಸೈಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫ್ಲಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರು ಸಹಿತ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಕಂಡ್ ರೇಟಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೋವರ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾ,
ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಸೇ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ ಆಫರ್ ಫಾರ್ 10 lakhs, ಯು ಸೇ ನೋ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಟೂ ಲೆಸ್.
ಅವಾಗ ನೀವೇ ತಗೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲೈತೆ ನೀನು ತಗೊಂಡು ನಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡು ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Yes.
ಸಿಂಪಲ್.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating. ಅವರೇ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಡ್ಡು ಬರೋದು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಅದ್ ನಿಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತ್ ಮುಂದಿನ ಡೇಟಿಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡೇ ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವತ್ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ವಿ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಪಾರ್ಟಿ
ನೀವು ಸೇಲ್ ಡೀಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಕಂಪ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಪೂರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ರೂವಲ್ ತೊಳಿ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
Yes, my lord. We will find a buyer. We will come and take your lordship's approval for the purpose of sale. Yes, my lord.
ಓಕೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಾರ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗತ್ತಾನ ಕೇಳಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಹೇಳೋ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಇದರ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಏನ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆ ಇದರಿಂದ? ಡು ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕನ್ನಡ? ಹಾ, ಇದ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾರ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆಯಾ ಈ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಗ ಈ ಖಾತಾ ಒಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಪರ್ಚೇಸರ್ಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಸರ್ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಅಂಡ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೇಟ್ ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್,
ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡಿಂಗ್ ನಾಗ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ
we will come and place a prospective buyer with the terms before your lordship.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಮೊದ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ. ನಾಳೆ ಪಾಪ ಅವ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ತೊಗೊಂಡೊಂದ್ ಗತಿ ಏನು? ಒನ್ ಹೂ ಬೈಸ್ he should not be put to problem, as you rightly said. And ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಬೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ.
ಅಥವಾ they can buy if they think they have a better buyer, let them bring it. No problem.
We cannot saddle him for everything. We cannot take undue advantage of his virtue. ಈಗ ಬರ್ಕೊಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ನೀವು ಮೆಮೊದಲ್ಲಿ. We are agreeable for the petitioner selling these two properties in favor of any intending buyer.
Subject to
Confirmation by the court. So that buyer confidence ಬರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ನೀವು ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ನಿಮ್ದೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ,
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ
ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡಿ. ಹಾ, ಮೆಮೊ ಕೊಡಿ. ಅದು ಎಂತದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಏನು ಕೊಡಿ, ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಒಂದೆರಡು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬರ್ರಿ. ಹಾ, ಬರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? ಕೊಡಿ. ಬೇಗ ಸಿಕ್ತಲ್ಲ 13 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ. 13 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 13 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ 2016, 31/3/2016.
ಇದು this is a classic example.
13 ವರ್ಷ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ.
Sir, we were
ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ರಿ?
only landowners. Our investment was supposed to be the land. We were owners of the land. We brought him in as a partner only for the purpose.
ನಿಮ್ದು ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಬೇರೆ ಲಿಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ.
We were the landowners, my lord. We brought in the land. He was supposed to do the development. That is how all these agreements have been signed. Apart from partnership agreement, there are also these other agreements. Anyway,
Allen arbitration clause
Not by the court, my lord. I am saying when submissions was made, the submissions were made, it was being said that.
ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬರ್ರಿ. ಇದನ್ನ ಟುಮಾರೋ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಟುಮಾರೋ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಟುಮಾರೋ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟಚ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಧಾರವಾಡ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ಧಾರವಾಡ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ he need not come, brother need not come here. In fact, ಅದ್ರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ we requested him. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಧಾರವಾಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ.
Can we sit down today if your lordships are convenient?
No, today we have another bench na.
No, at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock ಇದೆ ಏನದು?
ಇಲ್ಲ, if your lordships can accommodate it at 4 o'clock, we can complete it today. And my respectful suggestion, since his lordship has come all the way, my lord, we'll make full use of his lordship's presence.
That's
all that I'm saying.
What we requested him to come here.
So if it is possible, my lord, subject of course your lordship's convenience and the board, if we can, if your lordships can direct that we reassemble
ಇಲ್ಲ,
at
ಅದು
4 o'clock.
ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು we will have it ನಾಳೆ ಏನಿದೆ?
ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರು ಇರಲ್ಲ.
2 ಬೆಂಚ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇವತ್ತೇ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು
ಬೆಂಚ್
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೆಮೊ appears to be ready.
blood.
ಇದೆ ಅಂತ.
It is better to finish it as early as possible, my lord. 4 o'clock ಇವತ್ತು ಆದ್ರೆ I will be obliged if it's possible.
4
ಬೇಗ
o'clock.
ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇವ್ರ ಮೆಮೊ ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಮೆಮೊ ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ.
ಒಂದೇ ಸಲ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
4 o'clock ಬರ್ತೀರಾ? 4 o'clock ಬನ್ನಿ. ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲ್ಲ. ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದನಾದ್ರೂ ಅದ್ರ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಗ್ರೀಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತೊಂಬನ್ನಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ.
Yes, yes.
ಅದೇ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದು, ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅರೌಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರ ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. ಇದು ಆದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಚ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ದೆಮ್. ನೀವು ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನನೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದು ಬಿಡಿ.
Because each flat is about.
The moment you give the sale deed, next order will get saying permit me to sell my flats. Permit me to sell my flats. As part of the disposal. We will
So
do that
our
also.
contention is that 40 flats is our 40 flats per the trade.
Yeah, that is-
They are saying 40 flats is
Yeah,
in
that
the.
all that has to be decided. Then what I am saying is for the present, his 2 flats, you sell, it's subject of course approval of the court. You get money, use that money for the purpose of improvement. So that he also has stakes in the
Yeah, right, sir.
going forward. Whatever has to be done, right, we will have to work it out fully.
Those other 2 flats he sold it without our signature, without informing us, without.
Anyway.
And the money is not, and the money is not come to us.
It's not
Money is not to come to the.
9ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು
come to
ಒಂದು
the-
ಮೆಮೊ ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದು ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ.
That means it's falling in his share.
We will come to that. What I am saying is that.
ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್, ಊಟ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ PO ನು. ವರ್ಕಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
At least to the extent of the value of the 2 flats. You are.
ಅದು ಫೈಲ್ ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ, ಬೇಕಾ ಮೆಮೊ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
Oh, fine. Speaker ಮೇಲೆ pass over ಮಾಡಿ. This is what I know.
ಹೌದಾ?
ಈಗ ಇದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಒಂದು
ಈ ವಾರನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಜೋಶಿ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರು LTCಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. LTC ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಊರು ನಾರ್ತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಲ್ಲ 21 ತನಕ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. LTC ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ 21 ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಸ್ಬೇಕಂತಾನೆ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಶುಕ್ರವಾರ ಶನಿವಾರ ಇರ್ತದೆ.
ಹೇಳಿ. Yes, please. Learned additional advocate general is on his feet. Let us see, you will come to, you will have your turn if at all,
So
if you want to have.
broadly it was categorized, Your Lordship, but we have made out in this. One group of respondents. Yeah. On at para 1, Your Lordship. Point. Yes. Then comes para 5. They say that aided polytechnic college have most affected employees among the aided institution. That is their claim. What they are saying, though they are at parity with them, they are most affected. Their grievance is a bit different. And this is the broader categorization what we made, Your Lordship.
Correct, but you will have to come up.
Yes.
With what is going to be the difficulty or the huge financial burden.
Correct.
That the state is going to have implications.
Correct. At first instance, I'll make one submission also. What we asked the government, though this looks like a same class, same category, there is a sub-classification. We will collect the data pertaining to every class, every categories under these aided institutions, then the affected employees therein and the financial implication. And what if it has been, arrears have been foregone by the respondents, what would be the implications? And wider ramification in the light of new pension scheme, NPS. Now it has to be placed before the cabinet, Your Lordship. So now they are on the collecting data and the implications.
So no specific date is given when you are going to place it and when the decision is going to be taken, nothing is coming.
But that day, it was the first occasion, Your Lordship. So it went very well. The exchanges was very pleasant.
Pleasantries, exchanges of no use. Unless you are going to come up with some concrete solution for them. They are before this court. Like my lord said, they are all teachers. Merely by saying that some of them have said this in para 1, 2, 3.
No, we will put our absolute effort, Your Lordship.
Correct. So you will have to come on the basis of para number 1, para number 2,
correct,
para 3, para 4.
We will
what is the implication? How many are affected? What is the burden or financial implication to the state?
Correct.
So you will have to give that to the court.
At earliest, we will come back. That was the assurance we spoke to principal secretaries. After this also, we had a meeting. We AGs had a meeting with them, insisting them to come as soon as possible. We have insisted them and we will speak to, now we are following it up, Your Lordship. At earliest, we will come back.
Mr. Additional Advocate General.
Yeah,
on the previous occasion when my lord submit that and
yes. Out of the box, what we discussed, though the figures were given, we insisted the officers that we want very precise independent figures, not just for the sake of case. That is what we have submitted. As officers of the courts, we have certain responsibilities. Whether we are going with the arguing the matter is different, but we have to place precise facts and figures before the court, so that from our part that we have insisted, Your Lordship. And we ourselves, personally, we are having meeting with the officers because 4 categories of the this one, primary education, collegiate, everybody we are personally interacting with them, apart from the finance department.
What my lord said and we opined, just for your understanding that we had put this proposal to see that a solution can be arrived between and amongst
Correct.
you. It is not that we are saying that we are going to be inspired by the huge financial implication
Correct.
propagated by the state, not at all.
Correct.
You need not take that into consideration. The court, if required, will pass an order on merits.
Correct.
There is no, you know about the court.
Correct.
The court will pass. We are not hesitant in passing.
That is the settled position. Financial implication is not the ground for this. Series of judgments are there. Now, because of this meeting, they have come up with these proposals where they have given in writing, they have orally, that is recorded now. Now it is up to the government to come out, as your lordship has said, precisely what figures, what is the implication, and so that if it is possible, let us see. A honest effort would be done, your lordship, to see that.
The purpose of referring it and constituting a committee for a resolution of the dispute was that intent.
Yes.
But if the state and your officers think that they want to put in certain jargons of policy and legislation issue in para number 8, not happily worded. If that is the situation, then you might as well argue and we will pass an order on merit.
No, we will overcome it. We will have a honest effort from our party. Though to save their skin, they may have used, that is how they have been taught all these years. We will do it, your lordship.
That they can do in the between the amongst the bureaucracy, but not to the court.
But we are at the disposal of your lordship. We are supposed to carry out the mandate of this honorable court. We will do, honestly, we will do it.
We want an honest effort.
Yes, sir.
From your officers. And put it forth. If you are putting it these kind of jargons and using it,
yes,
it does not augur well. It does not augur well.
Yes, sir. I agree, your lordship.
So what do you propose, Mr. Additional Advocate?
These categories has to be precisely dealt by the finance department as well as the concerned department. It has to come out with the figures. At first instance, how many employees are going to be in this issue, and what would be the financial implications, and in the light of their submissions. It has to be placed before cabinet and the CM, Chief Minister, for that.
So as we understand from this, and even your appeal, except for the financial implication, there is nothing else that is pointed out by the state.
In this memo, your lordship.
Not only in the memo, even otherwise, even in your appeal.
It is there, your lordship. My humble submission is that see, the whole thing revolves around vested right. The question of vested right, whether they have prior to the grant in aid, we have made a research on that. Whether the prior to the grant in aid, whether the employee has a vested right, because there is two Tamil Nadu High Court judgment, division bench judgment, which clearly says grant period, prior to the granting period, they are not entitled. Earlier, what happened? Division bench has said they are entitled. Then up to Supreme Court in the SLP, it has confirmed. Now we are not on the merit, you are not submitting. Now our effort is, because they are our employees, court has directed us. This settles, lot of litigation will be get settled, and more, yes. Simply we are saying something, they are contesting, They are saying that we are not interested in that. We'll find a one-time solution for this. Because whole issue is, Your Lordship, in the education regulations. Earlier, till 1996, there was no act. No act. Granting for triple benefit, all those were executive orders. Then this act came in. Though it came in 1983, it was effective from 1696 because of some clarifications were started. State issue, central issue, all this. So this is where all these things are. What we suggested to the government is that this is a one-time solution. The whole thing will get settled. They are also our people. Whole thing will get settled. Because of this lacunas, we made it very simple. They have worked. What to do now? Though they have worked under the private management, to what extent they have also come up before us with some concessions. They are now offering something. And vice versa, what can we can propose to them to make it win-win situation?
What does the Madras judgment say about the effectiveness?
Fixation of pay and pension of teaching and non-teaching staff of the recognized private schools, which were granted grant in aid 1991 and 94. Service rendered by them prior to sanction of grant in aid and sanction of post were directed to be counted only for the purpose of promotion and benefit of the counting of the past services for the purpose of pay fixation, and pension was withdrawn, resulting in downward revision of pay and recovery. Order challenge. Learned single judge dismissed the petition with direction pay for equal work on par with the government school is not sustainable. Government is obliged to sanction grant for the payment of salary only if it is a sanctioned post. Posts are held by the applicants got sanctioned only under a government order. Applicants are not entitled to benefit of counting past service rendered by them prior to sanction of their post. So this is, it went up to Supreme Court, Your Lordship. There the same thing has been confirmed. So 3 stages comes into, at first instance, permission to open the school, then comes the recognition, then comes the sanctioning of the post. This is the 3rd stage where government comes into play, that granting comes into play. Now we are on that, not on this, Your Lordship. I want to make it clear. We are purely on what Your Lordship have directed earlier. We are working on that. I don't want to make submission on this now, Your Lordship. We want to make it so that these things, we have met with some employees also there. They were.
What your colleagues.
Yeah, that's what.
Other two advocates generally
they were,
say. Radhika is also here. Yes, Kiran?
The meeting went on well. All were heard. The finance is due and said that this is a decision that has to be ultimately decided by the cabinet. At least serious efforts and honest efforts are being made. To what extent it's possible, only time will.
So all this you want to bring to the notice of the cabinet now?
It has to be, that's the
Cabinet
has to be taken
because of financial implication.
Financial implication. That's how the Principal Secretary Finance was also asked to be present by Your Lordship. And the meeting was in fact chaired and
Mr. Janardhan and learned counsels for the respondents. There is no consensus amongst all of you on equality and equality.
No, there is, my lords, that's what my lords I was trying to point out. My lord, insofar as my lords, there is some mistake, my lords, in the proceedings, what they have given now. It was not prepared, my lords, there. My lords handed over to us now, my lord, we noticed, my lord, certain, my lords, mistakes. The submission which was made from my side was that, my lords, we are ready to forego 50% of the salary areas. No, pension antanu ide. Pension we did not say. It says salary para 2.
Arrears of pay.
Pay and pension. That's what para 2 says. Para 2, if you lords kindly have a look at, my lord.
We have seen it.
It says, my lords, that is about, it starts from third line. So and so MP Srikanth submitted that he is ready to forego the claim to the extent of 50% towards arrears of pay and pension.
Pension you are not agreeable anta.
Surveys to be counted prior to granting it, not arrears.
Financial illa.
Financial now kele illa. Only where, my lord, the aided institutions appoints a candidate, approval is delayed for any reason. My lord, there we said it has to be from the date of appointment because permission would have been granted by the department to fill up the post. But where institution is not aided, appointments are made, institution is admitted to grant subsequently. In such cases, we said financial implication only from the date they extend the grants. But fixation has to be accorded from the date of initial appointment. Because, my lord, what my learned, with great respects, my lord, this only mentioned about 1983 Act. 1975 Act, my lords, I don't know why they did not mention. 1975, my lord, Karnataka Private Education Institution Discipline and Control Act of 1975 provided, my lord, rule making power. Rule 5 of, my lords, the 1978 rules, which was framed thereunder, said pay scale has to be the same from, my lords, in respect of employee in a private institution to that of, my lord, the government institution. 1978 rules.
75 Act and
78 rules, which was
8 rules.
In fact, not the, it was saved under 83 Act also, my lords, under section 146. Huh? Rules.
Do you have Justice G.N. Sabhait's commentary on that act?
1975. No, my lords, I have Baliga's edition, my lords.
The author of Universities Act, Karnataka Universities.
He was the one, my lords, who wrote for education.
83 Act also.
Yes, my lords. It was repealed in 2004, but my lords, still then it was holding the field as per section 146 of, my lords, of the Karnataka Education Act. New rules are framed, my lords, under the 83 Act. My lords, Rule 83 Act. My lords, Rule 5 of the 2005 rules. My lords, Rule 3B, my lords, particularly it says the salary shall be at least the minimum of the basic pay. At least is the word used. It doesn't say, my lord, it shall be or whatever. So it prescribes a minimum, my lord, standard.
of
2000. Court. That's a different issue. That's stated by not the Honorable Supreme Court.
So financial benefits, as my brother said, we are just asking you again. You are not ready to forego the financial benefits.
For pensioners, my lords, we are not. My lords, insofar as our case is concerned, my lords, we said we'll go for up to the extent of 50%.
We have submitted a representation, not saying that our service to be protected from the date of the appointment till the date of retirement. But while calculating all the service benefits.
Minus monetary.
Not
Minus monetary.
monetary, not the service to be protected totally, yes. Not so for non-grant period is concerned, we said total calculation, we'll give it up that claim and will not claim that. From the date of the grant, we'll claim the benefit. But that is what we said. And also we are not claiming salary for the non-grant period from the date of the appointment till the date of grant. So these two things we have made it clear.
Date of appointment to the
Till the date of grant, we are not claiming salary. And similarly, we are not, for that period, service benefits will give up deductive.
Teachings.
No,
Total.
Huh? 359 crore. Total ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದೆ? 1637, 1360, total ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದೆ? 5081 crores ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಾ. $1588. It will come down to 1588. 5081 ಇಂದ 1588 ಬರ್ತದೆ. 15 3 45 ಅರೌಂಡ್ 3.5 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದು.
For the unaided period, my lord, why they want it to be taken into consideration is the concept of pay protection would come in. Once the pay protection comes in, my lord, like in regular government employment, say one person is employed in a department, later he opts for goes for an exam, gets a better appointment, moves to another department. So the previous pay which he was drawing earlier, my lords, that will be taken into consideration while fixing his first pay in the new department. There will be a spectrum, my lord, the minimum and the maximum based on that. So now what is happening, my lord, if minimum is what the state has fixed in their case. So So they say they're entitled to a higher pay because they've served earlier. I don't know whether such a principle could be applied in cases where where teachers from aided institutions could be placed on par with the government servants. That is one issue, my lord. Second thing, my lords, because of this fixation, my lords, in some cases there have been, in some cases I'm told the higher salary, the threshold has been fixed. In some cases, it's the minimum. What happens, my lords, when it is at the difference amount on a monthly basis, it changes because the amount drawn by the employee would be different. If I fixed at a lower end, then the salary which
Hearing ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವಿದ್ನ.
I beg from lords, very little time this time, my lords, my lords, we will ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರ್ ತಾವು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ
ಪಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿದೆ?
ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರ್ ತಾವು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ
ಪಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿದೆ?
ಅಲ್ಲ
ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಖಂಡಿತ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಅಲ್ಲ
ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಖಂಡಿತ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. We want to assist, my lords, we truly want to assist.
ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು we have given a standing instruction not to treat any matter as part heard. ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ. part heard ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಒಂದು ನಮ್ನಿ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, the request of the parties, it could be treated as part.
ಆಗಿದೆನಾ? ಆಗಿದೆ. Otherwise also it's by
specially ordered. Please, my lord, please, my lord.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ.
My humble request to my lords would be, my lords, now that this proceedings have been drawn up in all earnest, my lords, my belief, my lords, after our interactions with the officers, there seems to be some seriousness in trying to pursue and solve this, find a solution to this impasse, my lords. It is, they have promised us they'll place it before the cabinet at the earliest and place all the demands which have come from the employee side and those who are before the court and those who are not before the court also. And the implications, financial implications. My lords, one more issue, my lords, pay protection in this case, it won't be restricted to teachers alone, because this concept could be again used in other services by other employees, government or.
ಬರೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗೋರು ಬರೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗೋರು
No.
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
We will.
ಹಿಂಗಾರ ಒಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತಾರು ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು.
My lords, my humble submission is, my lords, it may be taken on record. The deliberations that will go on in the government, my lords, they will be regularly updated, my lords. The petitioners before, the respondents before the court.
ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ
Please,
my brother Yarur Saab said he drew your attention paragraph 8. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರು ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ.
My lord, one more difficulty is that, my lord, why that sentence has been brought into this particular.
We are just telling you because you have written that.
Please.
Brought it to
Because there is a legislation which is in place. If the government agrees to solve this problem out of court,
it can introduce a bill.
It can repeal the amending act, the amendment act, my lords. That is the, cannot do.
Almost similar matters. Mr. Aditya argued one matter.
Please.
Mr. Aditya, what is your take on this? You were also there in the meeting. Yes. Come to the mic. We should always grab the mic now. How, now there is a statute, but we asked you to talk
on merits or otherwise, or within the framework of the statute, there will have to be a scheme implemented. Whether the statute provides for the scheme or by an amendment, the ability to implement a scheme, say, let us say, take a date 31st of July to 2025, that pending claims.
Doubt which you expressed other day.
Without prejudice talks, my lords, as under your lordship's aegis. Thereafter, my lords, to implement the talks.
Some scheme has to come out.
And that scheme will have to have the backing or the force of statute. My lords.
No, at least if the statute does not stand in the way, there can be a scheme in the executive power also.
Fiscal statutal.
That order, judgment of the learned single judge will have to be overturned, and in their case, it will have to be treated as one exception, or the particular amendment has to go as a whole. Please.
No, there are some cases
Please.
where financial constraint is pleaded by the state.
Please.
If act is given retrospective effect,
Please.
there the apex court said, though a purpose of resolution of the dispute, we will not answer that question
True.
and put an end to this litigation with this arrangement.
Please.
That can be done, but as you
True.
rightly said, there is a statutory scheme
My lord, that
usually-
arises only if, my lord, this court comes to the conclusion after the arguments.
that
it
orders
is-
are bad.
That no, that the, my lords, the act is constitutional valid, but retrospective operation is bad. Now, the entire act is, my lords, held
Valid.
unconstitutional.
Hangagi act may be valid, but it may be it may not be retrospective.
That
It may
is,
be bad because it is over retrospective.
no, that is not the finding. The finding,
No,
my
we
lords,
we are saying that
please, maybe, my lords, yes,
an act may be,
that is not the finding. The finding, my lords,
we are saying that
please, maybe, my lords, yes,
an act may be,
please, that is.
suppose if they make law saying that every citizen should pay 1 rupee per day from the date Alexander had come to India.
Right.
It may be bad law.
Correct.
That way. So at least we can say, not Alexander, but the day Babur came here. Or Shivaji born here. Some reasonable nexus with the objects ought to be achieved. Otherwise it goes to Shreya Singhal.
Correct.
Please.
Manifestly arbitrary.
Arbitrary.
That may also happen.
This whole case, as your lordship earlier said, qualifying service ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. Qualifying service na ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ why this ambiguity is
in his sweat. ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾನ ಅವನು. As a consideration, you pay wages. As a consideration, you pay salary, wages, etc. As a consideration for the past service, you pay the pension.
Correct.
Pension is consideration for the past service. Salary is the consideration for the present service. All right. If you say that no, you will not be entitled to this financial benefit, does it amount to acquiring the property of the citizens? English judge, American judge, Justice Neely considered this aspect of the Mr. Aditya. There are such American, some state supreme courts in America. They have held that way. Whatever I have put in my labor, I have worked. You can't say that no, you will not be entitled to any amount with retrospective effect. Correct. Largest and entitlement or gratis and entitlement. If it relates to entitlement, then all constraints apply to retrospectivity also. Notwithstanding, the law is civil in nature. Because under our constitution, Article 20, class 1 perhaps, or 2, no retrospective criminal law, but no retrospective civil law also, because of Shreya Singhal. If it is over-inclusive, over-retrospective, it shocks the conscience of a reasonable man.
It's harsh and oppressive.
Harsh, oppressive, highly unreasonable.
Court said they had a vested right, so the pay revision can be done. So that vested right has been recognized. Now, here in this particular case, the whole dispute is that, your lordship, prior to sanctioning of the post, they got the permission to open the school.
Recognition.
Recognition is there. their sanctioning comes at the time of grant in aid. And the grant in aid code says each grant in aid orders consist the conditions for that particular school. Each. So the state submission is that, yes, you are there. That is because your vested right is to the extent of getting into the grant in aid. That 3 years, 5 years, there was a.
Whatever.
Yes, 3 years period ittu, ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ 5 ವರ್ಷ period. You have that vested right. After 3 years, after 5 years, you can come before the court seeking the mandamus also. In some cases, they are before the court seeking. So once you are into my fold, on the date of grant in aid, when the posts have been sanctioned, it is not individual. And criminal cases ಅಲ್ಲಿ offense cognizance ತಗೋತೀವಿ offense ಅನ್ನ ಇವರು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಗ್ನಿಸೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೋತೀವಿ offense ಅನ್ನ ಇವರು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ನ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದೇ ಏಡೆಡ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನಾನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಇರ್ತದೆ. So our contention is that we have taken into our fold from this day onwards. The entry is that Education Act deals that entry is that at minimum level. ನೀವು ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ
ಈಗ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡು
ಹಾನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ we have an absolute respect to this honorable.
No, that we appreciate that.
Now,
but they don't want respect, they want money.
ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, this is what our humble submission is that this is a liquid state now. ಇದು ಒಂಥರದ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಒಳಗೆ.
Ahmed, we have understood that. Kiran and
ಇದು
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು
2000
ಇಲ್ಲ 5,081 ಕೋಟಿ 32,973 ಜನ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. 32,973. ಅದನ್ನ
5,081 crores ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೈ ಬಿಟ್ಟು 1,588
ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೈ ಬಿಟ್ಟು 1,588
ಆಗ್ತದೆ
ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು
1,600 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಸಹಿತ 16 48
3,000
ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ನಾವು ದುಡಿಯೋರ್ದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರ ವಾದದ ಆಂತರಿಕ ಧ್ವನಿ.
ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ನಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಅವರು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಾಳ್ಮೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿರ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀರಿ ಅಂತಾರ ಅವರು. ಜಡ್ಜ್ಗಳು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದು.
ಆತರ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ವೀಕ್ ನ ಟೈಮ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ 50% ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, 100% ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಆ ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ನ ಒಂದು ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Padmanabha said, we will forgo everything.
Yes, that's all.
It's a great gesture. If that comes out, perhaps it will be below 1,500 crores. I do not know much budgetary economics. My brother may know.
Correct.
I don't have much idea. But suppose if they are I don't have much idea. But suppose if they are saying, we will forgo. Maybe that he will argue in front of his brothers and convince his other brothers also.
Correct. Absolutely. ಇದು ಕರ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಹಂಗೆ ಇದು. ಬಟ್ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಆತರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಕೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇವರು. ಒಂದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಈಗ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಆಯ್ತು, ಮುಂದಿನ ಡೇಟಿಗೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ on their instructions they have given, but you have economics in the secretary finance board. Off ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಇಡೀ ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ. ಈಗ they have given please ಅವ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಂತವ್ರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಗೋಪಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣ ಗೋಖಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲ. ಪಾಪ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ರಿಟೈರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ತಮ್ಮ ಇತಿಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ. ಅದು ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಏನು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಿಷಯಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಪಾಪ ದುಡ್ಡೋರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಜಡ್ಜ್ಗಳು ನಾವು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಂದೇವಿ. ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನೀವು ಹೊರಗಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕಲ್ತು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದೇವಪ್ಪ, ಹೌದಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು. ಒಂದು ಜನಗಣತಿ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವಿ. ನಂತರ ಇಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂದಾಗ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಮಾತು ಬೇರೆ ದಾರಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಎಂತ ಕೆಲ್ಸ ಇದ್ರು ಅವ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು, ಆ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇದೆ. ಚುನಾವಣೆಗೆ ಸಹಿತ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬಾರಿ ಸಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಇವರು? ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿದ್ರು ಮನ್ಯಾಗ ಮಕ್ಕೊಂಡಂತವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಏನೇನೋ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ದುಡಿಯೋರಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸಮರ್ಪಕ ಉತ್ತರ ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಇದು, ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ.
ಪ್ಲೀಸ್,
ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲೇನದು ಅವಾಗ ಟೈಮ್
we will show our bona fides, my lords, on the next date of
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ bona fide claim ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ.
Lords, as of now, this is all that we have to work.
ಕಿರಣ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ಇವೇನು ಜಡ್ಜ್ಗಳು ಬರೀ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೇಸ ನಡ್ಸಕ್ ಹೋಲ್ರು. ಹಿಂಗಾರಾಗ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಎದ್ದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ? ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರೈಟ್, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇದೆ ಹಂಗ ಹೇಳೋದು. ನಮಗ್ ನಿಮ್ದು ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಕೆಲ್ಸ, ಕೇಸ್ ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಹಿಂಗೋ ಹಂಗೋ ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಗಿಂತ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತದ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಅದ್ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಈ ಡೇಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು, ಆ ಡೇಟಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್. ಯಾವುದೋ ಮಗು ತಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಿ ಹೆತ್ತಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಂತೆ, ನಂಗೆ ₹1000 ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡು ನೀನು ಅಂತ. ಆ ಜಾತ್ರೆ, ಹೌದಪ್ಪ ₹1000 ಕೊಟ್ರಿ ಏನ್ ತಗೋತಿ ನೀನು ಅಂತ. ಇಡೀ ಜಾತ್ರೆಗೆ ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು No, in fact, even Vijay has also answered.
Yes.
Suppose ಇಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ cabinet will move to the legislature.
Yes.
ಒಂದೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ.
ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಫಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೊಂಬಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಲಾ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟ್, ಅದು ಕೆಸರಾಗಿನ ಕಂಬ, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬೇಕಂಗ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ನೀವು ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ತೊಗೊಂಬನ್ನಿ, ಮುಂದ್ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ ನಮಗ್ ಬಿಡಿ, ನಮಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಕಾನೂನದ್ದು ಅಂತ, ಅಲ್ವಾ? Anything we know what to do with instrument of law, how justice should be done ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ.
Ultimately
that's what speedy. ಹಂಗೇನೋ ಹಿಂಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಕಾಯ್ಕೊತ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಯಾವ 2015 10 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಹೌದು.
ಈಗ ನಾವುಗಳು ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬಹಳ ಬಿಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮುಗಿದು
ನಾವಂತೂ ತಮ್ಮ ಆದೇಶದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಹಳ ಡಿಲಿಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ
ಪಾಪ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ, ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ
ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಒಕೇಶನ್, ತಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು
ಆಯ್ತು ಡೇಟ್ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಆ ಡೇಟಿಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ ಲಕೋಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾವು ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್. ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಟೈಮ್. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾವು ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗೂ ಈ ಕೇಸನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ತಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಒಂದ್ ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಹದ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೇವ್. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ನಿಮ್ನ. ಹೌದು, 2 ದಿವಸದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಅದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಅನಿಸ್ತದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೀಟಿಂಗು ಮತ್ತು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅದ ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು 27/3/2015 ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಯು ಹೆಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ 8/4. 7 days ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ಅವ್ರೇನ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಕೂತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಬೆಂಚ್ ಇದು. Till my brother returns from abroad, you have to wait.
ನಮ್ಮ 3 ಜನರು ತಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ನೋಡಿದಿರ್ತಾವ. Absolutely we will put our absolute effort. We will come before. ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, 2
ಆಯ್ತು 17ಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ.
17ಗೆ ನಾಳೆ ಒಂದೇ ದಿನ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು.
By then great respect to my lord, you work out the economics and the
Ah.
statistics.
That will take
There is
some time.
one my submission with my lord's kind permission. There are certain other issues, my lords, which are not subject matter directly dealt by the court, honorable court before the learned single judge, my lord, with the order which is impugned before my lords. Lord, there are which are post 2006. As my lords are aware, my lords, they all come under new pension scheme. New pension scheme is a defined contributory pension scheme where both the employee and the management have to contribute. Our class, they are also clubbed along with these cases. So we'll have to make a proper list as to.
ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಬಿಡಿ,
ಹಾ.
ಉಳಿದವ್ರನ್ನ ತೋಡಿ.
So, please.
Hey, brother, now could say it.
Please.
Bring the economics.
Please.
Bring the economic factors
My
now.
lord.
Then it becomes
at
easy
least.
for us. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಬರಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಬ್ರು 3 ಜನ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರ ಬರ್ಲಿ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವೇನು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡೋರು. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಉಳಿದವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ. ತ್ರಾಸ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ವಯಸ್ಸಾದವ್ರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಏಜ್ಗೆ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಶುಗರು, BP ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಸಿಟಿ. ಬುಕ್ನಾಗ ಓದ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಬಹಳ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಇದಿರ್ತದೆ.
ಒಂದು ಸಲಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ
ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟ್ ಕೊಡೋಣ.
ಒಂದು ದಿನದೊಳಗೆ ಕಷ್ಟ
ಕಷ್ಟ.
ಇದೊಂದು ಸಲಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಗೋನಾಡು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸಲಕ್ಕೆ. ಅಂಡ್
Seems to begin with sometimes. They will have that. That is the reason. For us to collate that information only will need some time.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್?
2 weeks ಆದ್ರೂ ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ.
Vacation ಬರ.
2 weeks.
ಅಲ್ಲ it could be. ಅಲ್ಲ
ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ. ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ ಟು 29.
Yes.
Only 29.
They will not come out. That is ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ killing the time ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆ ಚೀಫಿಂಗ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅವನ ಜೀವಕುಮಾರ್ ಆಟ ಆಡ್ತೀಯಾನ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Mr. Ahmed Saab, like my lord said, you have to wipe the tears of the teachers who have taught all of us sitting here. And simply rendering justice is not required. You should not drag this matter like a second appeal where the LRs and LRs come into play. As it is, like Mr. Janardhan said, LRs are already on record. So please don't treat it like a second appeal. You have to consider their plight. So please don't treat it like a second appeal. You have to consider their plight. So therefore, we are not telling that we will not give time, but you have to come with a positive result of some statistics, some economics as to what and how you are going to do it. So if they have to believe you and trust you that you are going to do reasonably justifiable action in their favor or justify it to both parties, So you have to come out with a positive proposal of how to resolve this. Second aspect is assuming, for the sake of argument, that they are not satisfied with the proposal that is going to be put by the state. So we will have to get ready and be prepared, and they also will have to be prepared for an argument to be addressed. And this kind of permission is that you exchange your detailed synopsis and arguments also the other side parallelly, because we have time, because we are granting you time and they are trusting you on this time. So you exchange your written arguments or synopsis, they will also exchange. In case your proposal is suitable, we will retain that and proceed further. If the proposal is not suitable, that will be thrown to the bin, and we will hear the arguments and pronounce the
best proposal. ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓದೋದಿರ್ತದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ, ನೀವು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಕಾಂಪ್ರಮೈಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪೇಪರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ನಮಗೂ ಒಂದಿಬ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಾಪಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ನಾವು ಯುದ್ಧ ತಯಾರಿ. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಸಂಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿನೇ ಇದು. ನೀವು ಸಂಧಾನ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ, ಸಂಧಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಂಧಾನ ಆಗ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ಮುಂದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ ನಮಗೆ. ನೀವು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟುಬಿಡಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದ್ ಸಣ್ಣದು ಹಾಗೆ ನೀವು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾಗ ಏನೇನು ಹೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಮುಂದೆ ಜಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನರದ ಕೇಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ನಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೊಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅದು ಹಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅಡ್ಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಜಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನು ಮೀನ್ ವೈಲ್ ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಇದನ್ನ?
I also filed even copies to the others.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಅವ್ರ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿ. ಅವರು ವಿದಿನ್ 2 weeks ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ನಾವೀಗ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ, ನಂತರ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 1 week ದೇ ಶುಡ್ ಫೈಲ್ ದೇರ್ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್. ಅವೆರಡು ನಮ್ಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಕಾಪಿ.
Mr. Additional Advocate General. Now,
Yes.
Second
Last working day.
third May is what?
Last working day.
Second, we can provide till second May for their reply to accept or reject the proposal or whatever they want to say. In the meanwhile, on till 2nd or May, before that, you can also file your submissions by way of written arguments in submissions.
That is so they'll have to give us little early, 3-4 days, so that we'll have to cover the whole issue while preparing the written argument.
ಅಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ.
ಅಲ್ಲ,
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೊಡೋಣ, ನೀವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ.
ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿ ಕವರ್
ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಮೈ ಬ್ರದರ್ ಸೇಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಫೇರ್ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್. ನೀವೇನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇನ್ ದ ಮೀನ್ ವೈಲ್ ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ನೀವು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನೀವು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ? as my brother said now. Yes. That's very fair timetable. Huh?
June.
No. June ಗೆ the last day of working ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ.
2nd May.
ಹೌದು, 2nd May ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಮಗೂ ಕಾಪಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನಾವು ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ಗೆ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಮೈಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ದೇನು ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಜಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಹರಿದು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಒಂದು ಕಸ ಡಬ್ಬಿಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಈಗ ಹೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ.
May I make submission, Your Lordships?
ಹೌದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ 20
Reply by 29.
Yes.
ಸೆವೆಂಟೀನ್ ಮೇ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನಮ್ ಕಾಪಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟಲ್ಲೇ ನಮ್ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
Lord, may I make submission, Your Lordships?
Mr. Ahmad sir, you said that you are going to do Kar Samadhan scheme. आतर one scheme proposal ಇದೆ. The grievance of the respondents, आप समाधान ही नहीं कर रहे. समाधान इट्ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕರ್ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಅಂತ ಸಮಾಧಾನ नहीं कर रहे. What is the use?
Lord, may I make submission, Your Lordships? Lord, one submission, Your Lordships.
ಏನು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಹೊಸದು ಏನು ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು.
Please, Your Lordship. Lord, there are two set of appeals, Your Lordships. One is not the service benefits of unaided period, Your Lordships. Another one for grant of one additional increment for having passed the Kannada language examination, Your Lordships. The state is not discussed that issue, Your Lordships.
That is, it is already. It is regarding
additional increment if
this
they
act.
In fact, earlier on yet I was also present in the meeting, Your Lordships. But that issue is not discussed in the meeting, Your Lordships.
SLP, yeah. SLP, I think.
Harvard court. Pending ಇದೆ ಅದು.
ಇದಾದ್ರೆ ಮೇನ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೆಟ್ಲ್
ಧಾರವಾಡ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಜನಾರ್ದನ್ said even that is covered.
Yes.
June second week. 13th and 13th.
ಅವತ್ತೇನಾಗುತ್ತೋ
Start writing the judgment itself.
Had learned additional advocate general so and so, Mr. Ahmad and Kiran and Mr. Vijay Kumar on behalf of the appellants, and learned counsel for the respondents so and so, Mr. Janardhan and others. After hearing the parties for substantial amount of time, learned additional advocate generals file a memo with the proceedings of meetings held on 8/4/2025, along with the attendance sheet and photos of the meeting. Based on our order dated 27/3/2025, the meeting was conducted with the representatives mentioned in the memo. In principle, the respondents are agreeable to certain conditions which are enumerated in the proceedings of the meetings. The appellant state shall form a proposal to resolve the issue by and furnish a copy of the proposal to the counsel for the respondents and also a copy to the court. In the meanwhile, both the appellants and the respondents shall also file a written synopsis, brief written synopsis, by exchanging notes to each other, which shall be filed 2nd May 2025. The matter shall be listed before the court on 2nd June 2025.
Yes.
You are also abroad?
So by then we'll, if we are traveling, my lord, and then get back, then we'll just take a week's time to request. My lord. We'll go ahead with.
All
Great.
on 13th, you want 13th June?
13th.
On 13th June 2025. This court hopes the state will take a sympathetic view in putting forth the proposal for resolving the dispute. Putting forth the proposal for resolving the dispute.
Sir, it seems
We
your
were
lordship.
supposed to, Vikram.
No, all names will,
All names will come.
all the names will come. Already we have a previous
Mamta
order.
is-
All the
Previous
advocate
order will
general's
be
names
Yes, sir.
and the counsels for the respondent.
Yes, sir. We'll put our, we will assure you all state council,
Do something.
we will put
ಕಬ್ಬಿನ
our
ಕೆಲ್ಸ
best,
ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು.
best effort.
ಅವ್ರೇನು ದಾನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ.
Anyway, ಕಾನೂನು ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತದೆ, but still state should always.
Somehow we will find into this. Come up.
ವೆಕೇಶನ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ತೊಗೊಳಿಕ್ ಬರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ನಮ್ಮ ಚೇಂಬರ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ.
Registry ನಲ್ಲಿ they will not take it, that's what. Registry ನಲ್ಲಿ they will not.
ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಅವ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು.
Exchange between each other.
ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಚೇಂಬರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ. Any one.
Other things you can leave it with our court officer. We will start working on that. ನೀವು ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ, ನೀವು ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ. ನಿಮ್ ನೋಡಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು, ನಿಮ್ ನಂಬರ್ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಭಗವಂತ ಏನ್ ಡಿಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರ್ತೇವೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಹಂಗೆ ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ. ನಮ್ಗೇನ್ ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ನಮ್ಗೇನಿರ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಇಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನಿಲ್ಲೋರಲ್ಲ.
Oblige.
ಸಾಕಲ್ಲ ಮಾರುತಿ ಜಿಬಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಲ್ಲ. ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇದಾವೆ. ಲಿಸ್ಟ್
1.96.
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಂದವೇ ಇರೋದು ಅಷ್ಟು.
1.96 ನಂದು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಡು 1.96.